So for today's video, I want to talk about consciousness in the four elements. And you're probably familiar with air, earth, water, and fire. And you probably think about it as some pre-scientific way that our ancestors described the fundamentals of reality. And sure enough, if you go back to ancient philosophers, they would argue about which one's the most primary or what is perhaps the fifth element. And I'll suggest in this video, the fifth element is probably consciousness, because there's something unique about these four elements that describes what really is fundamental, and that is consciousness. Because when we were kids, before we started thinking too much, we loved playing in the dirt, or would love to splash in the ocean, and or become hypnotized by fire. And the experience behind all of these is the ability to be one, to separate, and then be one again. And that was the cool thing about water or dirt. You could separate dirt into 1,000 piles and then put it all back together again. And that is what is reflective of the true fundamental element, consciousness. Consciousness can be separated, and right now you may be experiencing a separation of consciousness as who you think you are. But this can also be rejoined in very subtle ways that we might actually be missing in everyday experience. So the nature of neuroscience, when we talk about empathy or theory of mind or perspective taking, there's these mirror neurons, or some areas I've talked about, the right temporal parietal junction, that allow us to experience what others are experiencing. And from a neuroscientific viewpoint, of course, maybe there's something to that. But on the other hand, what I want to consider in this video is maybe that's a bit of consciousness rejoining again. So when someone next to you gets very embarrassed and all of a sudden you start feeling what we would say vicariously experiencing the embarrassment, maybe that's like two pools of water that suddenly are sharing a little bit of connection.